Hello, and this is Bogas Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the DC Multiverse Walmart exclusive Batman figure. So before we start this review, I do want to say that I am very, very disappointed in this figure because right before the review, I always, right before the review, go over the articulation just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I mean, I still might miss some details even though I do that before, but I was trying to move the head on this Batman, and this happened. The peg just splintered off. And I don't even know where it went because when I was trying to see how far his head moved up, it went poof, and just flew across the room, and I don't even know where it went. I mean, there are so many places it could have went. It could have even went down in one of my vents. So. So, I do want to say, be careful when you're moving the head on this figure because mine just broke. But luckily, it is staying on, so I think I'll be able to still do this review. I just probably won't be able to do his head articulation since, the ball joint is gone. I also have this Batman, the previous Batman, to compare with it. And I just found the ball peg. It was under Batman. But I still can't put it back on because it's splintered off, and if I glue it, it splintered off pretty far down in there, so I'd be gluing the whole head on, and at least right now it's staying the way it is. So I'd rather just do that instead of gluing the figure. Okay, so now before we take a look at Batman, let's take a look at the 3 accessories that he comes with. He comes with 3 mother boxes. Well, that's just 2. 3 mother boxes from the new Justice League movie. Not really sure what these are used for in the movie, because, in the movies they always change things. So first up, these are all halves. And you have to buy the Walmart exclusive Cyborg to be able to connect all these together. So first up, here's the human mother box. I think it looks really nice. It's got a lot of sculpting detail to it. It actually surprised me that all the sculpting detail that's on the mother boxes. I like how it has that dry brushing of kind of a gold and brown over it. Kind of makes it look rusty. I think that looks really cool. Up next is the half of the Themysciran mother box. And this has got an astonishing amount of sculpting detail going on it. Looks really nice. It's got a lot of varying color too, so there's a lot of sculpting and paint detail going on this. And then the last one that has the least sculpting detail, the Atlantean mother box. And it kind of just looks like a starfish covered in mud, or like at the bottom of the ocean. I do like the silver on this. It actually looks like real metal, so that looks really cool. So now onto the figure itself. I do have to bend his legs just so I can get it down here to show his face. So I think this face sculpt is a huge improvement over the previous version. I'll go ahead and show that now. I do want to say that I did mod this figure out with a custom cape, but that's just because the plastic capes on the Batman figures, I don't think you should have a plastic cape, but I'll get more into that when I show his cape. But you can see the face sculpts on these two. This one definitely looks like Ben Affleck. This looks like just some ordinary cosplayer. I think the face is too big to be, Ben Affleck. I just don't think this looks like him at all. You can also see that the insignia, the bat insignia, is smaller on this one. I do like the bigger insignia on the new one. And I definitely love that new head sculpt. That looks fantastic. And Mattel's definitely stepping up their game, which I've been a vocal supporter. If you follow me on the Syndicate or any of the groups I'm on, I'm an avid supporter of the DC Multiverse line, but I do have to admit, Mattel has been doing a lot better with a lot of their figures lately. And this, I do have some issues with this. It's good, but it has its issues, and I will go over that in a few. So for the head sculpt, I do think it looks more like Ben Affleck. Like you can tell that's him, just by even having the mask on. So you can see that the insignia has changed for the new movie. And he has 2 suits. He has this normal suit, and then his armored suit, which this does have some armor on it. Like right here, it's got some muscle armor. I think that looks nice. I like how it's actually silver, like a dry brushing of silver over this dark gray color. And he does have some nice texturing to him. It has like a mesh texture all over the figure. On the arms, the torso, and the legs, they all have that mesh kind of feel to them. He also had some paint detail going on his gauntlets. It looks really cool. And what I was going to show about the cape is, I always hated the, with the BVS Multiverse Batman and the Suicide Squad version, Batman had a plastic cape, a hard plastic cape at that. It wasn't very pliable. And I was really excited when these figures were shown off and announced that they were going to have fabric capes. But now I'm not really a fan of. I know that that's you want something, and then once you get it, you don't like it. That's how I am. It feels like normal fabric on the inside of the cape, and on the outside it feels like leather. I think it might be real leather, or maybe it's faux leather. But the reason I don't like it is it does that. And that looks silly like that. I'm trying to unroll it, but it tends to just go. So that doesn't look right at all. You can, I even tried boiling some water and holding it over the steam to try and straighten it out, because originally it was folded up clear like this when I got it out of the package. And you can tell since it's stained, that's actually how it was. It was worse than just what it is now. So now that I actually have now that we the fans actually have the fabric cape, I'm not sure that I'm a fan of it, because I do have the normal Batman too. I'm just waiting to review it for next week, and the cape is the same way on it. It's just rolled up and won't do anything. I'm not sure how I could get it to straighten out and stay that way, because I'd be fine if it just curled just a little, but you can see that it's just curling up a lot. So that is one of my complaints about this figure, other than the head just breaking in half, or the ball peg just breaking in half. So there you can see that the legs, that is my major problem with this figure. These ugly legs. Like, his knees aren't even in the right place. His knees are like, one's pointed in, the left one's pointed in, and the right one's pointed out. Like, if you actually put his legs the way that they're supposed to be, they look like that. And I hate that. I wish that, since Mattel did just do a slight retooling of this body mold, I would have preferred them to use new legs. Like, it wouldn't even have to be the thighs. They could just, from the thighs down, replace these. And that's why I don't like this figure, which I'm contradicting myself, because I say I like it, and sometimes I don't like it, but I don't like aspects of it. Like, the legs just don't look right, and it's the same way with the BVS version here. You can see that he has those same weird legs. And you can actually tell that they're the same body sculpt. And one thing that I thought was weird is that this new version comes with a trigger finger, like an open hand, and he doesn't even come with a grapnel launcher. So let me just... The grapnel launcher from the BVS version and the Suicide Squad version does fit in his hand. So if you want to do that, you can do that. It just looks a little small to me. Yeah, it looks just a little small. But I thought that was odd that he included that he has a new open hand and, nothing to hold. I would have preferred just a fist. But, nope. So here are the boots. The boots are actually sculpted a little differently. Like, they're actually smoother than the previous versions. They don't have like a rough leather texture to it. And you can see that. And he actually does have soles sculpted into the bottoms of his boots. So that's a really nice addition to the figure. So now I'm going to go over the articulation. Not sure how to do the head. Let's just, it'll still swivel, and it can't look up or down. So if it does break, it will stay on there. It'll just be able to swivel to the left and right. So I suppose it's not too bad. I still didn't want it to break, though. He's got ball-jointed shoulders that can move out that far. And there's just it just chewed the paint just a little bit. Right there. by moving his shoulders all the way out. So if you do move it all the way out, it will chip the paint. He's got a swivel at the bicep, single jointed elbow with a swivel at the wrist. He's got an ab crunch that can move all the way back and all the way forward. He's got a swivel at the waist. He's got swivel hips that can do a complete split. Actually, that's more than a complete split. They can kick forward just a little bit and back just a little bit. He's got a swivel at the thigh, single jointed elbow, and a swivel at the ankle. So the articulation isn't bad on this figure, but it is off because of these legs. Because those legs are just weird looking. So, also another thing that I'm going to start doing in all of my reviews is show like the most epic pose you can get a figure into. Because that's a way to gauge like if you'd want it or not, like a better way to. So, the most epic pose you can get this figure in while still standing is that. Like a slightly late for work kind of run kind of thing. I did have to angle the camera down just a little bit. So you really can't get him into much of an epic pose either. So now I'm going to show him next to the other. Okay, let me just stand him back up normally. He's not going to stand like that. So here he is next to Aquaman. You know, the figure from the Justice League movie that I've reviewed. Now he's not wanting to stand either. Okay, here they are next to each other. I'll just hold them up like that. Aquaman is taller than Batman, which is pretty accurate. And then here Batman is next to the Batman vs. Superman version. And leave a comment below and tell me which do you like better. I kind of like this, the previous version better. Because it's kind of hard to distinguish the black from the really dark charcoal gray color. And I like the light gray and black color. So I do like this one better. So overall, this figure isn't bad, but for $20, I feel like you should get more out of the figure. Like, you know, the cape shouldn't do this, the head shouldn't have broke, and the leg joints are very, very weird. But if you're like me and a completionist and you want to buy all of the figures from the movie, then I would recommend it. But if you're not really interested in this figure and you're kind of iffy about it, I'd just buy the normal version from the Steppenwolf Build-A-Figure because it is awesome, and it's the perfect Batman figure. So if you are kind of weary of this figure, I would recommend just getting the normal standard Steppenwolf Build-A-Figure Batman. So that's my review, and if you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.